Hello.
That's it. Hi, Demi. How are you?
Good. How are you? I see your background.
I'm seeing you, and
Hello.
it's an absolute pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's all right. Thank you. It's basically you have an amazing career. You've done a lot of stuff, but now we arrive at this amazing film. So I wanna know, Demi, like what drew you to that role specifically?
I mean, I think it was, I think it was everything about it. It was such a unique way that it was delving into the subject matter,
Mhm,
and that was just so out of the box. And I always look at things when I can feel as I'm reading that there's a certain awareness of it pushing me out of my comfort zone, just knowing
mhm,
what it was going to be asking of me. Um, but I really felt the importance of it, like it really challenging the status quo, that it was provocative in the right kind of way, that it would provoke the thought, the question, the
mhm,
reevaluation of how, most importantly, not what society, not what Hollywood is doing, but what we're
mhm.
doing to ourselves.
Awesome. Because basically, like when I was watching, and I said, like, oh, wait a minute, there's nobody on that planet could have done that role but Demi for some
Mm,
reason. And as well, like I said, like, but wait a minute, this is not just Demi. Isn't that all of us? Isn't all of us trying to keep their youth, trying to regenerate themselves, like we literally doing it, but at the same scale. Some people are doing their eyes, the Botox, the blah blah
yes,
blah blah. Blah. So it's happening already, not at the grand scale of the substance.
of
So
course.
I want to know, since how did you resonate with this? Since this is already a wish by all of us, we all want to
Well,
stay young.
I think again, I knew that there were aspects that were so relatable, even though, and the fact that it was being done in an exaggerated way, right? It gave you the
Mhm,
room actually, because it's so extreme, but for you to find yourself in there, like, that part of where we all can fall into comparing and despair, like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, and or we all kind of get swept up in, oh, what's the new thing? And
mhm,
yet the real root of this is that nothing from the outside will bring us that what we're looking for if the inside is not in alignment with having a sense of love, self-love, and self-acceptance. And that
mhm.
message of really that there is no better you than you. But
Absolutely, and that's why you both are one.
we yes. and
Like
and
I was wondering, how can I venge or take a revenge from somebody who's made my finger go bad, rotten, made my tooth rotten, but again, it's still me.
but I think that again, the metaphor of that is that when when we're in pain, I think our instinct is to want to find something outside of us to blame,
Mhm,
versus the reality is of what you're doing to yourself. And the idea that, she created the two aspects, really those are just the two aspects that are already within us.
yeah, I'm sure the movie didn't have any kind of de-aging, but you looked so great and you looked so young and you looked so fantastic. So, like, I was wondering, I was like, okay, Demi doesn't age. So, perfect example. So, I wanted to ask you something that I was impressed by, apart from your acting, because it was so real and I was like engaged with you the whole time. But I wanted to ask about the physicality of the role. Your physicality was on point.
Oh, thank
Talk
you.
to me about this. How did you prepare for this?
Like some of it, because it was really just finding it. Some of it for me was, one, I always imagined that as the body's degrading, that it was a reflection of, like, it was a physical manifestation of the violence that I was that she was holding against herself, coming outward. But just, in terms of how I actually, it was just kind of finding the body as I'm hunching over. um
Love
it
that.
was, and then at the same time, when I'm in the fully degraded state where I spent a month shooting, doing scenes completely hunched over,
Wow.
Also finding suspended realities because I could haul ass down a hallway. And so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like there was certain realities that we got to push, but it was like part of it is just kind of you don't take a role like this unless you're willing to go all in. It's the same for me when I did GI Jane. You don't choose a role like that if you like unless you're really ready to just go all the way. And I think the physicality for me was also part of what was interesting to explore.
Yeah, I think it was amazing, complementing the great cinematography and the great like red holes, long. All of that was just piece of art, a masterpiece. Congratulations, Demi. I'm so honored to be with you, and hopefully I'll see you soon. My name is Mico, and I want to see you at the pyramids, Egypt.
Ah,
Yeah.
literally, my daughter said yesterday, we need to get a picture of Pilaf at the pyramids. She is a superstar, this little dog.
Things like this. Beautiful. So sweet.
Uh, well, happy holidays.
Same to you. And send my love to your daughter, and see you soon.
Okay.